together. Yeah, remember the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build.
Remember, the key to success is working hard and also making sure you work smarter. And it's all about Grenada. So when you work, when you produce, it is for the betterment of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, because we want this place to be better. And our mission every day should be making it just that, better, more developed, more enhanced, more transformed, because we want a better environment, a better place for our children and children. I want to encourage the folks on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off by saying the economy is being managed well. And we are hearing it from the International Monetary Fund. We also see our CBI program doing well. And that is important, because if the economy is not managed well, other things will happen. And because it's being managed well, the unemployment rate continues to fall. Because it's being managed well, salaries are being paid on time. Because it's being managed well, our debts are being paid, and we can take more debts because we are able to pay them. Because it's being managed well, roads are being fixed. Projects, there are quite a number of projects that are ongoing and they're being sustained. So the management of the economy means a lot, and it connects to so many things. So the International Monetary Fund only recently reported on Grenada's economy.
The IMF Executive Board concluded its 2025 Article IV consultation with Grenada, endorsing staff appraisals that highlight the nation's economic resilience and sound fiscal policy. After weathering the impact of Hurricane Beryl, Grenada's economy is estimated to have grown by 4.4% in 2025, buoyed by strong investment and construction activity. Inflation has slowed down as global food and fuel prices eased, while prudent use of Citizenship by Investment (CBI) revenues as a solid post-disaster financing framework have supported ongoing development. The IMF forecasts gross domestic product growth to gradually reach 2.7% by 2029 as major public infrastructure projects maintain high construction activity. The IMF emphasized the importance of keeping public debt on a sustainable path, targeting a 60% debt to GDP ratio by 2033. Despite Grenada's stable financial sector and comfortable fiscal position, the IMF noted persistent risk from the country's reliance on tourism, import dependency, and vulnerability to natural disasters. The Executive Board also called for careful management of fiscal risk associated with large public investments, better alignment of fiscal rules, and improve oversight of state-owned enterprises. Enhancing economic data quality and institutional capacity was recommended to strengthen policy making and risk assessment. The IMF further advised Grenada to maintain vigilance over credit growth and non-bank sector vulnerabilities to step up anti-money laundering efforts. While Grenada's ambitious investment plans address key development needs, the IMF stressed the importance of continued expenditure discipline, disaster preparedness, and fostering private sector growth to sustain long-term inclusive development.
Very nice piece there by GBN, looking at the report issued by the International Monetary Fund. And it's all good for Grenada, because based on this particular report and assessment, Grenada can get concessionary loans, Grenada can get grant aid. So it is always important to get that kind of assessment done and ultimately have the economy well managed so that the report will reflect that. Because remember, lending agencies depend on reports from the International Monetary Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank and the other lending institutions who are in the region to grant loans to you or to give you grant aid where you don't have to pay back. So things are all connected, and we have to feel good when our economy is being managed well. Then you look at the Citizenship by Investment Program, rebranded IMA, Investment Migration Agency, that is doing well.
Grenada's Investment Migration Agency generated just over $50 million in revenue from October to December 2025. The latest IMA statistics show November was the strongest month, with about $26 million generated, followed by December at roughly $14.7 million and October at about $9.6 million. A major share of the revenue came from National Transformation Fund contributions, totaling approximately $18.8 million for the quarter. The breakdown, according to the IMA's fiscal performance data, shows $4.1 million in NTF contributions in October, $9.2 million in November, and $5.5 million in December. Income from NTF application and processing fees amounted to about $1.2 million, while approved project investments contributed just over $21 million. According to the IMA's fourth quarter figures, other related fees and charges added close to $6.9 million, further boosting overall revenue. On the expenditure side, the IMA recorded total outflows of approximately $7.2 million, resulting in net revenue of about $43.1 million for the quarter. Total NTF transfers for the period amounted to roughly $22.7 million. Of that, about $20.4 million, or 90%, went to budgetary support for capital projects, and just over $2.2 million, or 10%, to the contingency fund. The contingency fund closed the quarter at approximately $64.4 million, up from just over $62.1 million at the start of October.
Right, so this is a very good piece there because we rely heavily on the Citizenship by Investment Program. Yes, they rebranded the whole thing to speak to investment, migration agency, IMA, but it's still the Citizenship by Investment Program. All right, they are doing well, and once they are doing well, the country will benefit, and we need to be happy about that. Let me now move to two pieces that I thought was very impressive. One with a child. Our beloved Prime Minister had a conversation with her. I think her name is Olivia. And she really had a nice, candid conversation with him.
So I heard that you're having the debate about drugs and stuff. I was literally telling my mom about that yesterday. Yeah.
So what were you telling your mom yesterday?
No, so I went on a bus, and they were like speaking there was a drug person, and he was like speaking very loudly. He wasn't cussing and stuff, but he was speaking very loudly, and they had to throw him off the bus.
Okay, so you think the person was under the influence of drugs?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I had another one. I was going by some food because I was hungry. I'm a foodie.
You're a foodie?
I like food.
You like food? Okay, because I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, so I went and buy food, and I like dancing. So when I heard music, I started dancing a little, and the guy said, "I love your dance. I love your dance. I love your dance.
Right.
I love your dance." And it was kind of getting annoying, so we have to leave.
Okay, cool. So yes, so we're debating about marijuana bill, if you may put it this way. It's called the Drug Abuse and Prevention Control Act, and we're amending the bill. One of the things it is seeking to ensure does not happen is that people don't smoke marijuana close to schools, or that they don't smoke marijuana in any public places, so that it can only happen in the private homes. Now, someone told me you raised the question of alcohol and drinking, and whether we shouldn't also prohibit drinking in public places. Is that your view as well? Okay, well, that's an interesting thing. I think I support that as well. I think people should drink in private or in enclosed doors and not in public, so that at least you protect the public, and that way you don't have to interact with people who are drunk or disorderly or misbehaving. So it's something we have to educate the public about and work on. So for example, as the school sports, I see that a lot of alcohol is sold at sports. Have you ever seen this?
No.
No? Okay, good. Well, I think that's because your school has a sports, right? Right? Do you run? You don't take part in any sports?
I am not a runner.
You're not a runner, you're just a dancer.
I came last in heat.
That's all right. Once you partake and you're able to support your house, then that's good enough. So yes, we're aiming to try and see if we can protect our children from drugs and from alcohol, and we have to make sure that we can be smart about it. We have to talk to the kids about it. We have to educate them about it so that they make the right choices. Not just passing the law, banning them, because if they're not educated, even with the law saying don't do it, people may still be tempted to do it. So we want to make sure that people understand.
Somebody told me that you love kids.
Yes, I love kids. Who told you that? A birdie? Okay, I see. Yes, I love kids. Kids are wonderful. One of the reasons I like kids is that if they get mad with you, today, the next day they forgive you and they're okay with you. Sometimes adults hold their grudge a little too long. So kids are my favorite. All right, yeah.
That's a nice sit down there, and it speaks volumes about our beloved Prime Minister and his communication skills, because he spoke there in very simple language, and the kid or the child, Olivia, she understood, and they had a nice rap. That is the type of Prime Minister we have. Not one who speaks down at everybody, but one who listens and who can have a conversation with no matter who and learn from it. And I love that. I really do. And then this other piece where we explain about the same bill, the cannabis related bill. And I love that one.
In the case of the NDC administration, since we assumed office in 2022, we established a cannabis commission. The goal of the commission was in fact to engage in extensive consultation to determine the way forward in relation to the decriminalization and legalization of marijuana. I should go further back and point to that in 2021, the NNP administration had in fact tabled a draft amendment to the Drug Abuse Control and Prevention Act as well, which is also seeking to decriminalize the use and possession of small quantities of marijuana. And prior to that, in 2018, the CARICOM Secretariat had commissioned a study into whether marijuana should be decriminalized or not in the region. And the overwhelming recommendation was that it should be decriminalized. Separate from those sort of broad-based policy initiatives, I think the reality is that worldwide, there has been the acceptance and significant policy shift as to how the marijuana plant is viewed. The traditional thinking for decades was that it should be a criminal offense to grow, possess, use, trade in marijuana. I don't need to get into the historical reasons why that was done, but increasingly I think more progressive societies came to the conclusion that the penalization, the criminalization of the plant and its growth and possession was actually not serving a useful purpose. In many instances, young men and women who were having their lives destroyed, not merely from the use or the abuse of marijuana, but actually from the significant criminal sanctions that came with it. So we wanted to make sure that we looked at this objectively. We promised in our manifesto that we would in fact decriminalize and legalize marijuana. And this is just step one in that process. We simply could not rush because we do appreciate that there are in fact downsides to the abuse of marijuana. And we needed to make sure that we got it right in terms of things such as at what age would we permit legally someone to be able to have marijuana in their possession or use marijuana without facing criminal sanction. And policy-wise, we've come down on 21 years. So the truth is, based on the schedule that we were working with, we were actually seeking to have this bill passed as early as the summer of 2025 last year. But with legislation, there's always a lot of back and forth, a lot of consultation. There was extensive debates about the age, for example. Extensive debates about whether it should be 1 plant, 2 plants, 3 plants, 4 plants. Debates about whether it should be 40 grams, 56 grams. So all of that takes a lot of time, and we wanted to make sure that we were not rushing simply because we had imposed a deadline on ourselves, and that we would be satisfied that we had taken the views of all those concerned. So this is the first stage. It is just passed in the lower house. It has to go to the Senate. It has to be debated there. Hopefully we expect it will be passed in the Senate. Then the Governor General will give her assent. It will be gazetted, and then it will become law.
What primary objectives does the government hope to achieve through these amendments?
Okay. So the first one, and I think significantly, is to no longer have a situation where people are arrested, prosecuted, fined, or jailed for having small quantities of marijuana in their possession for personal use, for religious use, for medicinal or therapeutic use. So that's the first thing. And this is significant because under our current law, if you have 1 ounce of marijuana, you could be arrested, prosecuted, fined. And if you have a plant, if you have the seeds, if you have any marijuana-based product, they're all unlawful and they all come with criminal sanctions. So the first objective is to in fact permit, without fear of legal sanction, that is arrest, prosecution, fine, or jail, or a criminal record, small quantities of marijuana, specifically 56 grams of the cannabis itself, 15 grams of the resin, and similarly having the pipe or anything that the apparatus or equipment that is associated with marijuana use. Similarly, that is also criminal. The aim is to also get rid of a criminal sanction there. The second objective is to allow the Rastafarian community in particular, who use marijuana in their religious rituals and ceremonies and their sacraments, to be able to do so without also criminal sanction, because currently that also is prohibited, and just like any Rastafarian and non-Rastafarian, if they have it in their possession, they're also liable for criminal sanctions. The third objective is, because we are seeking to now decriminalize the use, possession of these small quantities, persons who were previously convicted for having those small quantities in their possession now have the right to apply to the Rehabilitation of Offenders Board and to seek to get their criminal record expunged or spent, so that going forward they do not have this criminal record. The fourth thing that we are hoping to achieve is to allow marijuana-based products for medicinal purposes. So whether it's oils, whether it's medicines, tablets, what have you, once it is prescribed by a medical practitioner. And we've had countless stories of persons with chronic illness, chronic pain management issues, who have indicated that they've tried everything else and the only thing that works to ease the pain and so on is marijuana-based products. So we want to be able to give them the ability to use those products once prescribed by a licensed medical doctor, again, without the fear of criminal sanction. And because currently doctors cannot prescribe these things because it will be a criminal offense for you to have it. And that means the ability to both bring it into the country and the ability to use it within the country. But I think the most significant thing really is to begin to change the attitude towards the cannabis plant, and to see this as an opportunity for us to actually create an actual industry based on the medicinal, therapeutic, industrial, commercial uses of the plant. That is really the critical thing that we are aiming at. And then finally, it's important for me to say the amendments are also designed to protect the young, to prohibit public smoking of marijuana, and particularly to prohibit the public smoking of marijuana in and or wrong educational institutions. So those are the primary objectives of the amendment.
Right. So, well said. And I have always said to you, I believe that the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell is a great orator. He's a good communicator, and he's just the best person to articulate on these issues. Because remember, that was a campaign promise, and they've started the process to fulfill that promise. So first is to decriminalize. Over time, it will be legalized. But remember, the NNP was in power, and they never decriminalize cannabis. No. Coming close to the election, they run in the parliament and they read a bill to fool the Rastas or fool people who use cannabis to think that they would do something about it. But for 23 years and a half, they never did anything. So I'm happy that the NDC administration is brave enough to do something about it, and we are on the right track. I want to see this, moving away from what I played earlier. There is this naivety, right? In other words, there are people who are in government and who are senior within the NDC who seem to think that the enemy is not after their job, or the enemy doesn't want to see them out of office. This is a dangerous thing. You have enemies, may I remind you, and they want what you have. It's all good for you to be in a particular space where they are, because we all are Grenadians, but you must be conscious of the fact that they want what you have. And yes, I see you greening teeth with a lot of them, or skinning teeth with a lot of them, knocking drinks with a lot of them. I see that, right? We're a social kind of people. We mix, we mingle, but you still need to be conscious of the fact that you have enemies politically. That is why there's an election. That is why it's considered to be a competition. That is why people vote for the NDC and some vote for the NNP and other parties. So you need to be cognizant of that. And your enemies will do anything to get power. So they would organize, for example, and I have been seeing that in recent times, fake Facebook pages. A lot of fake Facebook pages in 2026. In fact, I have seen that increasing in the last 2 weeks and counting. It's like they had it as a plan and they're executing it now. The fake pages. So if you check news items by, the main news outfits, you see the comments. It's like 100 same people commenting negatively about even good things that the government is doing. And they would include some political spin or some election thing all in there. So we need to be cognizant of that, because they recognize in 2025, 2024, 2023, it was dominant or very apparent that the NDC had the full support on social media of great many people, and they didn't have to call them up to comment on anything or to go under any posts. They will go voluntarily. They will listen and they will comment. So they know that the NDC dominated social media for quite a while. So now the opposition forces, they have more or less put together a strategy, a plan, and they're executing it. Right? So they share the negative stuff more on their pages. Our people are no longer sharing the positive stuff like before. It's like the endurance is getting less and less and less. It's like the energy level, the excitement is getting less and less and less. And that is something that we need to assess and evaluate. That is something that you need to assess and evaluate, because you need your base to be excited. You need your base to be willing to go the extra mile, to make you look good, to promote you, to defend you. So the question is, what are we not doing to excite our base? What are we not doing to make them want to defend you and promote you and share the positive stuff? And, what are we not doing? That is important, because you see, sometimes you get into power and you believe, quote unquote, you are to govern for everybody, and you forget the people who actually voted you in there. So it's all good. It sounds nice. You're to govern for everybody. You were placed there. You're now in government. Forget about all the party thing and all these different. When the election time comes around, who do you go back to then? So it never makes a good marriage where you say, well, election is over. Let's govern for everybody. Well, the everybody would not vote for you, and the everybody will not support you. So you still have to look for your people, identify them and make them happy, make them excited, and do what you must do to guarantee that always. Because I see with my own eyes in many different instances where NNP supporters are getting that big pie. I see that. NNP supporters. And we can go in all areas, the contracts and all of these things. But when they get those things, who do you think they would employ? Who do you think they would bring on? Their people, their supporters. They will look for their people. NNPs like that. And that would not change. So while you want to be fair, while you want to be nice, while you want to please these people, what's about your people? And that's the reality. And if you want to be naive to think that you are here to please everybody, you're going to end up crying, not laughing at the end of the day. Because NNP don't care one damn about you. NNP wants to see you out and they want to get in. They are your political rivals and they are your enemies politically. This complacency and naivety for want of a better term here, is creeping in. Creeping in because some people believe that, well, the government is performing and that's enough. That's not enough. Let me remind you, that's not enough politically. It's not enough. So yes, there are big ticket items and things are happening here and happening there, but if you don't get down to basic, to identify who's supporting you and who supported you and are not pleased with you because of X, Y, or Z, you want their vote still. You have to get back to the drawing board and you have to start reconnecting with the base and reconnecting with your supporters. There are some people who got positions, who are in places of power, and they don't give a damn. They collect a salary at the end of the month and they're all cool with that. They don't even think political anymore. They become political dumbasses. So a contract to be awarded, they don't even think about their supporters. Some job opportunity, they don't even think about their supporters. Some program where employment will be had or created, they don't even think politically. Something to be distributed, something to help, in certain areas, they don't even think that way. They have lost their political sense. So what happens then? The NNP would ram them over and overcome them because the NNP folks, they're all over the place. NNP been there for 23 years and a half. God damn it. They've been there for 23 years and a half. They're all over the place. So if you don't recognize that the whole social media environment is changing because a lot of fake pages, and there are some people, they don't even know. They're unsuspecting. They don't know. So what they read is what they gather and what they run with. So you have to sit and reflect what we are not doing that we did before in the first 2 years, 3 years, to cause our people to be excited, to cause our people to be all happy, to cause our people to want to defend the party, defend the government, defend the leaders, and defend the ministers and so on. Because there are some folks who became ministers or became senior government officials, and they believe that it's just government to run. And they forget the damn politics. God damn it, the politics that get you there. You are there because of the politics. And if NDC is not in power, you have no damn board work. You have no government work. And the people who you embrace, the people who you make feel all cool, public servants, some of them who you promoted, who you bring all the way to the top, they will still be there. And there are a lot of them who are pretensive. They stalling projects, they delaying all kinds of stuff, they making you look bad. They're just messing up stuff for you, and you're so naive. You trust them, you believe them, you give your all to them. They don't care damn about you because they're still loyal to NNP. They go pretend, they go make you feel as though they're on your side. They're not. I'm saying, think about it. The NDC has done so many things. Yet still you have many of our supporters not happy. Yet still you have an army of NNP supporters want to fight and beat you down with everything. even if they're benefiting? Just think about it. Think about it for a moment. We have to target our supporters and make our supporters happier. And that's the reality. Because politics is still about you reaching out, you assisting your people, your supporters. You cannot please everybody. And it's time to reconnect. Some of you guys are living in La La Land. Some of you guys are living a fairy tale life where you don't even want to hear. You need to reconnect. And you need to get your tail on the ground and find out who support you then and who still support you to help. This thing is right. Something is acting up here. Right. So I'm saying, folks, it is important, very important, to reconnect. Reconnect with your people. Reconnect with your base. And stop being naive. Stop thinking that, your enemies do not want your position. They want your position. They want your place. And they will do everything to undermine you, to destabilize you. Everything. And some of you, you're angry with your own supporters and with your own people because they come to you or because they speak to you about something or because they want something or they're in need of something. Come on. You cannot please those NNP supporters. And in every corner, every place, they're there and they are benefiting significantly. I see them every day. Who is coordinating with, for example, the culture, right? The people who are involved in culture. Who's the political point person who are coordinating with these people in culture? Because Carnival is coming up. There are events, there are activities, there are all kind of stuff. Independence is coming up. For example, right? There are beautification to be done. There are a whole pile of stuff to be done. Who is coordinating with these people to make sure that they give work to our people and our supporters? GTA, for example, the Grenada Tourism Authority, who is coordinating with these people to make sure that when there is opportunity, that your people get opportunity too? Who's coordinating with these people? Just leave it in their damn hands? Just leave it in their hands like that? What you expect would happen? Their friends, their colleagues, and majority of them, their friends are NNP supporters. That's who they're going to look for. Same thing with culture. That's who they're going to look for. When all these big events and so on, who do you think they're going to look for? Their people? Their supporters? Who's the liaison? Who's the person coordinating all of these things politically? When contracts are to go out and who have to get contracts here, what do you expect? What the hell do you expect would happen? They would give their people. So there is this level of, complacency, and a lot of these people are naive. And some of them don't understand no damn politics. They've been there long, and they get some, job as a senator, and they become a minister, and what? And what? They don't understand no politics. So the same old stupid mentality and way still persists. Come on. Where are the people to do the political work? You have so much of big brain, or you have so much of damn big brain, and you have nothing in there political. All you could do is to count figures. Nothing beyond that. You have to rely on your base and your supporters. The base may have grown. The middle may have shifted a bit towards you. What do you do then? How do you identify all of this? How? This year, 2026. And then into 2027, election is here. If you check out, and maybe some of you don't give a damn, you don't care, you have a work and you believe you're going to be there forever. Go and speak to some of those folks who've been in NNP now, and they've been there for a long time, and then the NDC won the election, and they're like fish out of water, flat on their bottoms, and it's like dry season take them. Go and speak to them, and they will tell you what they thought and where they are now. Look at the situation. So what you have, joke around with it. Joke around with it. What you have, I think you're going to be there forever and ever and ever and ever more. You have to work to keep it. You get it. You have to work to keep it. It's simple like that. And I am saying some people believe that, they don't have to do nothing to maintain this thing. You have to reconnect with your people. Check out the NNP. You see, some of you people don't understand the politics. The NNP started identifying their supporters in ministries, government departments, statutory bodies, and all of these things. And their supporters are now sabotaging, undermining, and I want to use the next word, something up the system. I want to use the next word, but I can't use it on the program. I want to use it, because in my mind, I'm using it. Their supporters are something up everything. And they're doing it deliberately, tactically, strategically. That's what they're doing. In the roads, in schools, in everything, everywhere. That's what they're doing. Right? Then you look at some of the programs, radio programs, TV programs, right? Look at some of the programs. Just check it out. The one on MTV, check it out. The current affairs program on MTV, you listen to that program. But look at the ads on that program. Are you playing naive? Wait. You listen to WeFM, for example, right? Listen to the ads, statutory bodies, government departments. But the content of the program, who calling? What they saying? Who they blaming? Who they attacking? Huh? Listen to some of the other programs and look at the ads and stations, other stations. Look at it. You want to play naive? Play naive. And don't become strong and tough and firm. Everybody's your friend. Everybody's Grenadians. They want your work. You have political enemies. And if you don't understand that, you're in problems. Come to your senses and realize that. Realize that. This is no joke. This is no joke. You look at newspapers, you look at... Just check it out. They're intentionally going after your job. They want what you have. And as I have always said, politics is about people. Politics is about maintaining your base. How do you maintain your base? It's by getting to know them, their needs and their wants. Some of you only seen, every week you're seeing them, what happened in the ministry. Who cares about what happened in your ministry? Huh? What happened in your constituency? What happening with your supporters? Huh? What's wrong with you guys? Some of you. Go on the damn ground and work and identify your supporters. See their needs and wants and address it. Government don't make you win any damn election. You don't win that way. But if you can use the resources of the state to advance your political agenda in your different constituencies, then you're good to go. But you must know your people. Because anybody could come up to you and say that they're NDC and that they voted for you, and you'll have key. And you fall victim, Anybody could do that. It amazes me when I go about and I check and I see certain people, I say, but no, these people were against Kim Jones, against the NDC, against the struggle for a lot of years, but all of a sudden, they're in some key position. All of a sudden, they're in charge of this, they're in charge of that. All of a sudden, they have some big contract here, big contract. So what is happening here? In a lot of key places. And I just say, but is it just because they have a first degree or a second degree or a third degree? So degrees that causing these people to get that? Although they wanted to cut your neck on the block politically for years? Sometimes I ponder on those things. I ponder because this is 2026. And this complacency and they become so naive to believe that there's no political rivals and enemies anymore. And it's business as usual. And they don't have to go the extra mile and work hard and connect with the people and focus on their supporters and get to know the people in the constituencies that support them. And in some instances, you have to go and say sorry. In some instances, you have to apologize to some of your supporters because some of you get so damn swell-headed and so big and so mighty. You nothing when it comes to politics. When it comes to election time, you go in and beg for votes. What's wrong with you? Make your work easier now. Go identify your supporters. Reach out to them. That's what you have to do. House to house, house to house. Get to know them and support them. And then you have some people in different polling divisions, different constituencies. They're making it worse for you, bad for you. Change some of them if you have to reconnect with your people. You have to do it. When you go do it, you have some people in certain ministries and you see them skinning teeth and grinning teeth with some of these people. You think they like all you? Huh? Some of you ministers, some of you, they don't like you. And that's my PS, and that's my PS, and that's your PS? Huh? How some of them became PS? Some of you have no political, smartness. How some of these people became PS? You think you made them PS? They became PS because they were deemed as NNP supporters, a lot of them, because there are people in their ministries who are more damn qualified than them. What's wrong with all you? Check yourself. Understand what's at play. And some senior officers who got more position and so on, they're working overnight to sabotage you and to undermine you. A lot of them. You're skinning teeth and grinning teeth with them. This is no joke. This is no joke. A word to the wise is sufficient. There is this complacency, this feel that it's all cool, everything is all good, and you have nothing to worry. And hello, you could do all of these good things. And once you're not organized politically, you could still be defeated. Come on, all of these good things, yes, it's great, but you have to do more politically to consolidate, to guarantee victory. And you got to reach out. You got to reach out. You got to reconnect. You have to check on your base and your supporters, the people who are in the vineyards with you, fighting with you when you had nothing. Let me repeat that. You got to reach out. You got to reconnect with the people who were in the vineyards with you when you had nothing, when you had no damn power, when you had nothing, when you were like fish out of water. Don't forget these people. They're there at all fundraisers with you, all walkabouts with you, all events with you, all protests, all demonstrations. They're all about with you. They campaign with you. They do. Don't forget these people. And they'll become so damn bright that you forget them. Dare not do that. There is a need to reconnect with the base. There is a need to focus on the politics and to identify in every constituency your supporters and their needs and their wants. You know, I listen to some of these people and it's like the NDC folks don't need anything. They don't want anything. Only them NNP and them that want and need. What's wrong with you all? What is wrong with you? Something has to be wrong with you to think that way. You have to reach out. I don't believe because government is doing this and government is, it's impacting everybody, but your supporters. You got to go down there. Don't fool yourself. Do not fool yourself. Our beloved Prime Minister, man, he's working hard. He's going the extra mile. He's doing a marvelous job. So you believe that because he's doing all of that, he's going to get you over the line? Yes, he may help, but you have to help him. You have to go there as an MP, as a caretaker, as somebody there who vying for a seat. You have to go there and work. You have to make his work easier. Identify your supporters, treat them well, look out for them, their programs, their projects, their opportunities. Look for them. And do not, I say again, do not forget the simple people. You see, it's easy when you are in power to forget the people who've been with you before. We are human beings. And you have to start to think in that light. We are human beings. Right? And they may not tell you, but they may tell me. They may tell another person. Don't walk over them. All right? Don't do that. Nope. Remember, Kim Jones said so. You get big, you have high heels, you have nice shoes, not jacket and tie, you're looking smart. You don't forget these people, the simple people who've been there with you through thick and thin when you had nothing, fighting for you, fighting to get you there. You hear me? Don't forget them. Reconnect. 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 Don't forget them. That's a passionate plea I am making. To say to you, there are people who've been there in the vineyards working for many years. Don't forget them. Yes, you get big and almighty, and you have a nice vehicle now, you have a nice big house now, you have big work, and you know, you're senior this, you're government this, you're that. Okay. All right. That's nice. And then you start, you know, bypassing this person, even if they've been with you, they may not have a doctorate or a master's degree, so you're getting somebody else, and you're putting them on top, and you're giving them this, because they have a master's degree and a doctorate, and when the politics time come, you ain't seeing them. You think you're seeing them? Because their brain so big. They would say, nah, man, politics, nah, what is that? But the simple man, they're the ones who want to be with you, fighting with you still. They're the ones. Not those big brain, you get all this big position and this, contract that. Da. Nah, you ain't seen them in the vineyards fighting that good fight. No. A word to the wise is sufficient. A word to the wise is sufficient. There is a need to reconnect. There is a need to take out all this highty-tighty, bougie, show off, I arrive mentality, and you take that out. You 1 year into an election or 2 years into an election. Yes, we know the opposition, they're in tatters, they're in disarray, they're all messed up. But don't believe that the NNP supporters are like they're gone, they're not around, you know. What's wrong with all you? I am saying at the end of the day, there is a need to reconnect. And reconnecting is very, very important. And do not believe for a moment that all your enemies, your political enemies, gone. They're there, they're around you, and they want what you have. But you must work to protect it and to maintain it. And make the Prime Minister's work easier now. Make our beloved Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, work easier. You do your work. You go on the damn ground and reconnect with your people and be politically minded. Some of you need to go to political class. You have $1 to distribute. You want to just distribute it like not even knowing who you're giving. You must first know that $1 that I have to distribute, how many people are my people? How many people support me? Because I want to make sure that the people that support me, that they get out of that $1. And then the remainder, you could share it among who and who. So in that $1, definitely I would make sure 80 cents out of that $1 goes to my people. It's simple like that. So yes, you may want people to come over to your side, but if you're losing your support, your supporters, then your work will be harder. So you have to maintain the block of votes that you had and have, keep that, and then add to it. But you can't make your people, feel different and that, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So I want to warn you, reconnect. And in some instances, if you have to apologize, go and apologize. Simple. Say sorry. And start anew that relationship that you once had. That's important with these people. Don't become highty-tighty and big and you believe that you over every damn thing. Nah. Nope. I'm a person on the ground. I go to funerals. I go to events. I go to activities. I'm all about the place. I don't believe I'm not listening. I'm listening attentively. I may not respond because people, they're talking, but I'm gathering intel. I know. I'm not stupid. A word to the wise is sufficient. Folks, have a wonderful day. I want to wish you all the best. I'll be back with you today.